like button when you're jumping on in here. Hit that like button, hit that like button. If you're jumping on, watching the recording later, hit that like button. We're going to have a brief discussion. This is going to be the end of it. You know, I'm going to leave it alone after this. Man, see if people gonna tap in. I would have took some of this stuff down, but people were literally celebrating his death. That's one of the most disturbing things that I saw online, on social media. I want to address that some.
Is it like just happened as I'm filming this? I saw the video of it happening. I do not feel bad for him in the slightest, and I'm very, very much wondering what MAGA is going to react with. I wonder how they're going to make this about how Black people shouldn't be allowed guns, or trans people. They're probably going to blame a trans Black person. I don't fuck. But we can all celebrate because something really awful happened to a really, really awful guy.
What makes you?
Yeah, man, this mindset. It's kind of wild. I just want to go over some of these folks out here celebrating his death.
Passing of Charlie Kirk, and many of them are now losing their jobs. Many of the people you've seen cheering on the passing of Charlie Kirk started with this man who just moments after Charlie Kirk was struck right in front of him was cheering on video that Charlie Kirk was hit. Then you have...
But we're considered a barbarian race in America, man. The hypocrisy is killing me on the inside. Shout out to Dave Chappelle, man. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. This man, dude, blood still warm, still dripping out of his neck. He's jumping around celebrating. He's still in danger, for all he knows. For all he knows, that sniper could be right there about to shoot someone else or shoot his motherfucking crazy ass. He's celebrating the death of a man. Just died, just got shot. Don't even know if he's dead yet. You know, you're assuming the worst, you know what I'm saying? But it's just wild to me that the human behavior and the human nature after his death is startling. It's startling. Like, I knew that we were detached and desensitized to death in America, you know what I'm saying, to an extent, especially with the advent of social media and just being able to watch a literal snuff film every day, whether it be police shootings, that they have whole channels dedicated to police shootings, or whether it be situations like this, you know, stabbings, muggings, the situation in Charlotte. It's just like, it's real. As an American, I'm really let down. And I understand the left and the different political ideologies between folks. I understand that there's differences in opinion on both sides of the aisle. But it doesn't change the fact that some of these reactions were disgusting in nature, man. I'm talking about, it was like some of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in life. Like, and I've seen, you know, people celebrating death in America. I don't know if that's a big trend in America. Like I said, we are so desensitized here that I don't even think people understand what they're doing. Honestly, I don't even think they understand like how disgusting this act is to celebrate someone passing on, especially in the gruesome way in which he did. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And these are people that call themselves quote unquote Christians, or they believe in God. These are people that call themselves, that think they're going to go to heaven, and think they're living a Christ-like life. But to be able to smile and cheer on and go online and create TikToks and videos and post saying they like, I got to find some of these things. These people got to be ashamed.
This woman who was a nurse going on TikTok celebrating the passing of Charlie Kirk, and now people have found out where she works and are talking to her employers. This man who wrote this entire statement here is actually in the military. And people have already alerted Pete Hegseth, who is essentially this man's boss, and will probably be trying to do something about it. You have another woman who is a second and third grade teacher's aide who was posting about that she wished she would have heard of another obituary talking about Donald Trump, but instead she would settle for Charlie. He's another.
I feel like I can push this, but it's just my thoughts of like Charlie Kirks.
Fucking disgusting. Like what? Some no offense, man, but goddamn, you got all that metal shit in your mouth and your face. What the fuck is going on? Like, I could definitely see why Charlie Kirk advocated for the things in which he advocated for. You know, because we are living in a his death and his passing proved only further that we are, you know, living in a country that vehemently dejects and denies God. You know, we can sit here and profess and talk all day and have these discussions, and people want to lie and to be, you know, dishonest about what's their true emotions, and they want to depict it as if they're really Christian and loving people. But man, we're living in a real hate-filled time in America. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of the biggest things. It's like, so I can definitely, a couple of things, you know, things that Charlie Kirk professed that I could smoke a bag of: anti-abortion and the fact that we're living in a godless country, and we have to rectify that. You know what I'm saying, in some way, form, or fashion. Because just look at the way in which we live, man. We're living in a the way in which we live. We're living in a non-godlike country, for sure.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
somebody had to take this man's life for his opinions. You know what I'm saying? And the people who coming out publicly and saying detestable shit like this, it's not surprising when you look at some of these people. Like I said it previously, you got to be one of the most miserable fucks on this earth to be celebrating the death of a person just because their ideologies and thoughts are different from yours. Like, how sick of a person are you? So basically, these are the type of people, like I said, that play like as if they're Christian, plays as if they're good people, but deep down they're demonic entities that I feel like have no souls in a lot of cases. A lot of these people, they cannot have souls. If you don't have empathy, you can't have a soul. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's one of the things Charlie Kirk actually said. He doesn't believe in empathy or something like that. So, I mean, it may also be that he didn't have a soul. Because some of the things that people say, you know what I'm saying, like, they profess it doesn't always mean they're telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a song called Vice Versa. Like, so a lot of, just because somebody says something and profess something, like, just because we say this is a godly country is obviously not. So I don't always believe, I believe people's acts and works and things like that they do. I don't believe just all for words, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, well, you know, words do matter at the same time, you know what I'm saying? But, and they are powerful. Words are very powerful. You know, they can be used for good or for evil. But I do feel like what he said wasn't worth him. He's a shock jock. You know what I'm saying? His job was to make money. He's an entertainer. He's a YouTube shock jock, you know, influencer, basically. That's all he was. Like, if you really think about Charlie Kirk or Trump, like, none of these guys are really, you know, they're not that well versed, if you ask me, intellectually. Like, Charlie Kirk was definitely a good orator. You know, he could talk. He knew how to move the crowd. But a lot of the things he said was a lot of whataboutisms. You call him the task on one situation, and he's going to say, well, what about black folks? Or what about gang violence? Or he's going to pass the buck as opposed to going down that alleyway. And see, to me, that's a deflection. And to me, that's one of the first signs of a person lacking in intelligence and knowledge. Also, he edited a lot of these clips. In none of his clips does he ever damn near profess to being incorrect. You know, it's just certain things like that that make you just, you know, pick your head up, because nobody's right all the time. Nobody wins every debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, you have bad days. You know, you make incorrect statements and assumptions. Like, I've just never seen him state I'm wrong, for one. I've never seen any pick where he has to double back. So that's, to me, that's a big red flag to me, when people aren't willing to concede anything, when they're always right and all knowing. That's one of my first red flags. If something's wrong with this person, when they can't ever concede in an argument, find common ground with other people. Like, whenever he had discussions on colleges, I've never seen him damn near find common ground like that. For the most part, it's always like, I'm gonna move, you know, I'm gonna move the goalpost. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's blue. Oh no, that's sky blue, that's Carolina blue, that's, you know, whatever, that's teal blue. Like, it's, which, you know, is what it is. That's all in the art of debating. I falls into the art of debating, but I feel like you gotta have some commonalities. You're not always right. That's one of my biggest things that I try to, you know, tell folks. You're not always right. So anybody that's trying to profess that they're always right, I always say you got to question and look at people like that. Because why are you trying to make this air, or if this persona or depiction as if you're all knowing, you know what I'm saying, are always right? There's only one person who's perfect, and that's God. So I do feel like he tried to create this image of perfection and of, you know, like you said, of Christ-like. But you know what I'm saying, I do feel like the way in which you went about it was very non-Christ-like, just being honest. You know, you can profess out of your, you know, you can double talk. A lot of people double talk. You can, out of one side of your mouth, say this, out of the other side, say, you know, another thing. So I do feel like a lot of times he was double talking. You cannot single out a single race of people and say they're the problem. That's what, like, to me, that is not Christ-like. I don't feel like God differentiates between race. That is a man-made thing. So that's one of my biggest things. Hit that like button too, man. Appreciate y'all tapping in. But one of my biggest things is, and that I had to unlearn myself, because it took time. You know, I'm 36. I think Charlie Kirk was 31, about to be 32, 4 years older than him. You know, we both millennials. He's born 93, I'm born 89. So I kind of can see and relate with some of the things and ideals that he had. But if he was just controversial, which is, I call myself Controversial Cal, man. TNP, True Masculinity Podcast. We keep it real on here. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, TNP. So I don't play around. You know, I don't got time to be out here faking the funk. And I know, man, life is short. You know what I'm saying? We live in a time where if you want to get progress, we need to get it now. You know, if you really care about the future generation of people in this country and just the people now in this country, you're not going to be spewing racially divisive rhetoric just outwardly, because how does that help? How does that heal? How does that help? How does that progress us as a people? You know what I'm saying? It progresses you, of course, because, you know, you're the shock jock, you're polarizing, you get the views, you get the likes, you get the hate and admiration. But how does that progress us as a group? You're only building a wedge deeper and deeper, and to a point where somebody's crazy, a crazy fuck dating a transsexual weirdo is gonna take your life for nothing, for opinion. So it's gotten to the point of, was it worth it? Is tearing people down in a sort of way to build them up, you know what I'm saying, worth it? Because people are going to be trans if they want to. People are going to be gay if they want to. People are going to not, they're going to believe in religion. That's a part of America. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that's a part of America. Like, as far as people going to choose whatever religion, they can worship Satan if they want to. I seen one time he had a Satanist come up and talk to him at one of his rallies or talking points at a college. Like, people have the right to do what they want, whether you believe in it or not in America. That is, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's God's ability to change the heart of man, not us. So I focus on my own people. That's how I live. I'm not trying to be out here spewing divisive shit. You know, I focus on my people. You know what I'm saying? I call us to task. I call black folks FBAs to task as to why is our situation in America or our current status in our community deplorable. Why do we have so much genocide? Why do we have so much single parent family homes? Like, these are the things I question on my platform, because I want my condition of my people to improve. Like, I feel like people like him, he didn't do that with that purpose, if you ask me. He had the guise of if he was Christ-like, but I don't feel like that was the point. I think the point was just to rag and shit on black folks, which I feel like that's not helpful. You know, you need to focus on your people in your community, you know what I'm saying, and getting them correct, because, you know, and then we come together as a people. Because what you're doing, to me, that's divisive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna get the money and you get the eyes and attention, but you're not gonna get any progress like that when you're trying to just shit on people's lifestyles. You know, because it's not harming you. You know, somebody chooses to be homosexual, how is that harming you? You know what I'm saying? They're not breaking the law. They're not doing anything, you know what I'm saying, like, that's wrong. So it's like, why would I harp on that? If somebody chooses to get an abortion, that's between them and God. Like, I would like people to be pro-life and not abort children, but that's not my prerogative. Like, I have no control over that. So I feel like harping on that is just odd to me. That's just me.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
Yes.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
So if you had a magic...
We're killing misogynists now? We're shooting misogynies?
I don't want to hear her talk shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, people celebrate Charlie Kirk shot. Like, people really out here.
It's time for Lefties Losing It, and tonight's edition of Lefties will feature some of the ugliness, some of the utter depravity that has followed the murder of Charlie Kirk, a thoroughly decent, principled man brutally murdered today, and the soulless ghouls of the left were quick to celebrate.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
Hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button if you're tapping in here. TNP. Show some love, man. Put some on that Cash App. You waking up this morning, man. Shout out to the West Coast right now, man. We out here in liberal land. No knock to it, but we out here in liberal land. We out here one state away where they, I'm out in Colorado, one state away from Utah where they took Charlie Kirk's life. You know, this is the land. We up here in liberal land right now. You know, we got, is what it is, man. We got LGBT mayors, just a free for all. I mean, LGBT governor, excuse me, out here, man. We're in liberal land. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like I said, it's different. You know what I'm saying? People are different. People, you know, they're choosing to do what they want to do. It is what it is. Go against God's will, but that's on them. You understand? So we're gonna figure this thing out, man. We are going to get this thing going. Now give me a second. Yeah, man, we out here in liberal land right now. Making it happen, baby.
Well, breaking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantafast's favorite 5-mile wide mouthpieces, Charles Chuckle Kirk.
Excuse me. I gotta excuse me.
And sadly, the far left has not been shy about showcasing their ugliness, their utter callous depravity. This is what leftism does to your mind and soul.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time. But
You know, I appreciate your honesty. I truly do. So you said someone had to do it.
You don't appreciate your honesty, using you for content, baby girl. Now everybody you fucking up your life with that one, man. These people out here celebrating, you are definitely fucking up your life. I'm just be honest with you, and rightfully so. If you out here celebrating the death of a person, he did not commit murders. He wasn't out here raping babies. He wasn't out here being, sexual assaulting women, raping women, hurting people. Got being a pedo. He was just, being a shot jock. You know what I'm saying? He was being a shot jock. He's being a racial, what's the word? What do they call it? A race baiter. He's being a race baiter. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, in my honest opinion, I do not feel like, I had to learn this. I had to unlearn this myself, and unfortunately, it seemed like Charlie Kirk was too deep in the trenches as far as being racially divisive, where that was his main bread and butter. But as a man who believes in God, I do not believe God cares. It gives a fuck. Excuse my French, about color. That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. I do not think that God sits up in heaven on his highest throne and I think he hates. I think the Lord detests the fact that we have down here on the earth that He's created in a perfect utopian world that He's created for us, and given us free will to love each other, treat each other with respect, dignity, all the above. I don't think He wanted us to be out here caring and judging people based off race, as opposed to character, spirit, who we are as a person, deeds. We shouldn't judge people, period. That's up to God. But I'm saying in general, I don't think I don't think the Most High wanted us to classify people by the color of their skin and by their ethnicities and by their differences genealogy wise. I feel like that is the most lowest, idiotic, stupid shit that people do. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get caught up in that as far as my own kind. Like I said, I don't sit here and judge people, but I'm trying to improve the status of my own people. You know what I'm saying? That's my mindset. I want the status of my own people to improve. So me personally, I do sometimes rag on my own people. I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I want us to improve. You know what I'm saying? I want the status of Black folks in America to improve. I want the status of our communities to improve. I want us to love each other. If we are in a place where we are at quote unquote deemed the problem, I want us to not be a problem to ourselves or to others. I want us to figure out internally, culturally, what is wrong with us as to why we are depicted as this in America. What have we done to corroborate to the tropes and the perception of Black people in America? That's my thing. I want us to improve as a people. But do I differentiate us from anybody else? No, we're all the same. Every person, every race, creed, color, every human species on this planet, quote unquote, has acts of violence, has deplorable people. We have people that commit crimes and violence, LGBT, that live the alternative lifestyles that they want to live. We have people that do follow other religions and things like that. Everybody has, different people. It's a melting pot of people in America. So race is just some of the shit that I feel like that's a tool of the devil, in my opinion. That's a tool to keep us down here fighting, arguing, being violent towards one another, classism, feeling as if we're more important or we're better than the next. So I detest people who are so obsessed with color. You know what I'm saying? Which I do feel like Mr. Kirk was, unfortunately. He was a race baiter. Like me, I don't sit around race baiting. I talk about my own community. And that's what bothers folks. People in my own community don't like me talking about my own community. Like I was making, like I said, I made some posts today that was just, just giving my opinion. And I feel like when Black people, basically, I said Black people don't want to be judged by anyone. I said if a person outside of our race, I don't care if you're Hispanic, Asian, Indian, white, if somebody that doesn't look like us calls truth to power, says truthful issues that plague our community, we call them racist. And if a person like myself, which like I said, I want to clean up my community. I want to take ownership for what we are doing. I want us to have unity and camaraderie. I want us to be a peaceful, utopian people. You know what I'm saying? A people that have things, a people that unify, people that are organized. So if a person like me calls out the issues that I see plaguing the Black community, gang violence, et cetera, I'm a coon. I'm crazy. They say I've lost my mind, I lost my marbles. So it's a messed up situation where people can just sit in a cycle of perpetual victimhood and never having to achieve or do better for themselves, because I can gaslight you if you're outside my race, say you're racist and you're saying racist stuff by saying to me, and I can gaslight and shit on my own kind who say, I don't like this quality about our community. You know what I'm saying? What can we do to improve it? Man, what's wrong with this Uncle Tom? Man, all that shit, it's just like I said, it's a cycle of perpetual victimhood, which I do not condone. So it's just, hit that like button for me too, man. If you feel so obliged, throw some on that Cash App too. But it's just how I feel. It's how I feel.
Try not to get all pulled up into that, but he was a misogynist. He was a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs.
Enough of that trash. Let's look at how the media professionals covered this tragic event, this act of domestic terrorism.
Excuse my blue ass knuckles.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, I gotta excuse my blue black knuckles, man. Things ashy, ain't got no lotion. Throw some on that Cash App so I can put some lotion on these bad boys.
I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
Yeah, pretty sure we knew immediately it wasn't that. Charlie Kirk's supporters don't go around shooting their guns in celebration like they're attending some wedding in Iraq. And of course, MSNBC had to engage in victim blaming by calling Charlie divisive.
Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use.
Well, he's one of MAGA's most prominent voices online. He hosts a near daily podcast.
But that was just stupid. What I'm about to play you is straight out depraved, disgusting commentary. This is Matthew Dowd again on MSNBC, not long after Charlie was shot.
He's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aim.
He's just a new age Bill O'Reilly. You know, ain't nothing never been said. I mean, the shot jocks have been around for forever. The only thing is Bill O'Reilly was not going to expose himself to talking. He thought he's not about to go talk to some bunch of college kids and get them access to him. That's the one thing where Charlie Kirk was able to resonate with the young people, because he was accessible, overly accessible if you ask me. But it's not like he's doing anything that hasn't been done before. It's just people, as he said, the older guard of conservatism have traditionally not rocked with the younger crowd. So that's why it was a lot of people falling of the younger generation leaning left. So one of the biggest qualities he had was the fact that he was accessible. You know what I'm saying? I don't even feel like I said, he was really one of the best of his kind. You know, I feel like, like I said, it's been done before. Bill O'Reilly, it's been good people that made good positive sense that were conservatives, but the thing with him, he was a new age conservative. That was really, he was accessible to, he would go to liberal campuses across the country. He'd have conversations. He was just way more accessible than shot jock people that have said similar things that, like he said, over and over throughout the years. There's nothing new under the sun.
At certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
That was so vile, so hateful, and frankly deranged and dangerous that even MSNBC had to take some action, and they've sacked Matthew Dowd, but it's MSNBC. He may be back before the end of the month. And the asinine commentary wasn't restricted to commentators on MSNBC joined in. Here is...
I mean, like, you want to go thought crime? If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Well, that's the
You wouldn't have done that. You wouldn't have done that before. That's not an immediate. No, you wouldn't have done that before. That's not who I am. That's not what I believe.
It is the reality the left has created.
Because of DEI, it begs the question: when you see a black pilot, you wonder. You say, "I hope they are qualified." I wouldn't think that if the CEO of United or these airlines would reject DEI and say excellence is the ultimate standard. Is if I'm
Kind of questionable takes, man. Like I said, if you wouldn't question a Caucasian pilot, because you don't know how, a female Caucasian pilot, how do you know she got there? Or, she might have got there through DEI as well. Like, just the racial undertone was not needed. Like, to me, that can never be Christ-like. I don't care what anyone says. To me, if you're using race to validate, some racist ideologies and thought patterns, I God thinks. That's just how I look at shit. It's right for you to question, whatever you want to question, We're talking about DEI, just because they have DEI practices that they unfortunately are going to have unsafe or untrained, non-quality pilots because they're black. I feel like that's asinine. You don't think that United cares about the quality of their pilots or the lives of their passengers? You don't think so? You think they're just going to allow anyone to fly a plane? That's why I feel like that's just ignorant rhetoric that's meant to be divisive, so he can make more views and money. See, when you're talking to someone like me, you can't bullshit a bullshitter. And that's just how I look at life. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. So anybody that's stuck on race, because I'm not stuck on race. That's just me. And I'm a black man from the South. I'm not stuck on race. Know I know that's the most ignorant way to live, and that's killing you daily. You know what I'm saying? Is you're not gonna live a positive life. You're not gonna live a Christ-filled, loving life, being harping on race. And that's one of the things I say daily to anyone who will hear me. Anybody who will hear me from any creed or background, religion, whatever. When you harp on race, when you allow racial idolatry to creep into your heart, you're not living a Christ-like life. You know what I'm saying? And that's me. Like, do I agree with homosexuality? No, but I'm not going to be the person to demonize homosexuals. Do I believe in abortion? No, but I'm not going to be the person to demonize people who do abortion. I feel like that is not my place as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. It's gay people in all communities, black, white, Asian, all type of communities. So why would I be the person that want to shit on people just because I don't believe in it? Doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and make my platform the place where I bash blacks or bash Asians or bash white people or whatever. That I don't feel like that's how I'm not God. So I don't feel like hate is the way of God. That's just how I look at life. I don't think I can win over the heart of God hating on the creatures that He made. You know what I'm saying? Like the creatures He made in His image on this earth, the humans, the whatever these spiritual life beings that He made on this earth in His image. I don't think I can make it to the kingdom of God shitting on them. That's just me. Because who am I to talk shit about them? How can only God knows our lives? So you sitting here, we don't know Charlie Kirk. All we know is the depiction that he put online. So that's my biggest thing. We don't know who he was on a day-to-day. We don't know who he was when the cameras turned off. We didn't follow him for a day. We don't know what type of life he really lived. All we know is what he said, which can be propaganda, it can be lies, just like anybody else. So it's like, to me, he who is without sin, throw the cast the first stone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and he said, I remember he said a quote that said, God said, now go and don't sin again, or something like that. But it's like, we're not God. You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest thing. We playing God. Everybody wants to play God when it's gonna be God the one who's judging people who live in these lifestyles at the end of their spiritual journey or physical journey on this earth, and they go to the next. It's not gonna be ours. So it's not my job to degrade groups of people and feel like I'm doing it in the name of Jesus. That's just me. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. If it comes up, somebody asks me a question, I'll gloss over it, give out my small opinion. But I'm not here to berate, double down on, and shit on any group of people living in a peaceful way. The only thing that I hate on this earth, that I detest on this earth, I'm not gonna lie, I hate it. I hate it. And God says, do not hate people. So I don't hate the people, but I hate acts of violence. These are the things that I feel are the most detestable thing on this planet, is people who cannot control their emotions, and due to differences in opinions and ideologies and differences of thought processes and like I said, opinions, now now I must harm you. Now I must do destruction to your life and damage to your life. That is the one thing that I hate about this planet, the free will, unfortunately, that God gave us and what we do with it as far as violence. Other than that, go at it, man. Have at it, man. That's the only. I don't care if people live. I don't like violence. The only violence I like is boxing. Shout out to Canelo Alvarez and a little football, a little contact sport, basketball. That's the only type of violence I like. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, combat sports, that's the only type of violence I can condone. Other than that, I don't like people out here shooting people, harming people, raping people, or beating people, all this, subjecting people to stuff that they would never want their loved ones to be subjected to, treating people like shit. You know what I'm saying? Violence, this violence. That's what I stand on. Like, I don't sit here and talk. I talk animously toward people who commit violence. I do. That's the people that I do. Like I said, I try not to judge them, but sometimes I get caught up in the fact that I hate violence. I hate it. I feel like it's people don't have to go out here and shoot people and blow up people and all type of things going on in their countries. That's a choice, man. And most times it's something done by the people above people. So that's one of the things that I do as far as human beings. That's the only thing that I would speak out on and be downright nasty about it, how I speak out about it, because I feel like it's a choice and it's a wrong choice that people of all over this earth make daily. So we're not going to sit here and one of the things I said was wrong about Charlie Kirk. We're not going to sit here and harp on black crime. You know what I'm saying? For views and for, you know, views, clicks, and political purpose and political gain, and then try to get people to hate blacks. I'm not gonna sit down and talk about Asian people for whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about white people for mass shootings and I'm not sitting here and say harmful trans people. I'm gonna say evil is wrong. Don't matter the class or the color of people. That's that we're fighting evil. Because when you get into racial idolatry, once you get into differentiating people off of their race and classifying people as this based on their race, you're working with the devil. And that's just facts. Like, you're working with the devil, man, because I don't feel like God cares. That's just me. Like, we have to be a people that are above this race shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this race shit is not, it's not helping us. It's not progressing us. It's not a positive thing. Smells water in me. And one of the biggest things I'm gonna talk about until, you know what I'm saying, until the dogs come home is evil versus good. That's what we're fighting out here in America, man. And in this world, excuse me. In this world, we're fighting against the devil, against Lucifer, against Luciferians, against evil spirits. It's good people versus evildoers. It's righteousness versus, it's good versus bad. It's righteousness versus evil. So all this race stuff is only helping evil. Understand that. It's only driving it. Like, look at this. All this racial divisive is only helping evil win. Because now your voice, he's a powerful voice, is no longer here because of evil. Because, you know, I'm not even gonna say because his voice is powerful, because like a lot of people say, and he didn't deserve this, but he didn't deserve any of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, no way from a fashion did he deserve any of this because he had an opinion. I feel like in America, some places murder you for your opinion, but in America, we can have a free dialogue and discuss, you know what I'm saying, the discussions and stuff like that, and dialogue. So, but we know this earth is fucked up, full of evil people. There's some places in this earth where they'll assassinate you, and they'll kill you. They'll execute you for drawing a picture of Allah, I think it is, or Muhammad. I think in certain Middle Eastern countries, they will end your life for drawing a picture of Muhammad. They will end your life for stealing and peddling in marijuana in China. They'll put you in a firing squad. If you have a certain amount of marijuana trafficking, they'll end your life. So, you know, it just, like, America is a free-for-all, which it should be. It should be a think tank where we can have, you know, dialogue and discussions and progress, but because that's what democracy is. But that's not, in my opinion, what a lot of folks do. A lot of folks, they use race to increase their own status and gains and financial gains. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And they do it in the name of Jesus. That's the craziest thing to me. They do it in the name of Jesus. They would do it under the guise of Jesus Christ. And that is, to me, the most hypocritical shit. It's full of hypocrisy. It's the most hypocritical shit to use Jesus you're using Jesus to justify racial division. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can at one mouth you preach that God and the love of God and Jesus, and then at the other side of your mouth you preach racial divisiveness? Do you think God cared anything, Mr. Charlie Kirk? I know your spirit's out there. Do you think he gave a fuck anything about race? You know, but when you're an intelligent man and you're caught up in it, you're caught up in using race as a ploy or as a tool for you to gain political traction, you're working with the devil. So that's just facts. Like, I don't care. I know that's going to sound crazy and abrasive toward people's ears. I know it is. I know it's going to sound crazy. Like, I understand that. But when you use race to justify, when you use racial division to justify whatever, you know, ideology you have, or to get political gain and traction and clicks and money, and, you know, to be polarizing, you're using racial, you know, issues as a divisive tool, you're not working with God no longer, because God doesn't care about race. And that's just facts. Like, we gotta admit that as a people. And that's what I'm so far past race. I don't care about the stuff that happened in the past. I'm trying to live in a post-racial society. I feel like I believe in God. And I for sure know God doesn't care about if you're black, white, Asian, whatever, multiracial. I know God doesn't care nothing about that shit, because I know I'm a believer of God. I feel him in my spirit. I feel the Most High in my spirit, you know, the ruler, the person of many names, you know what I'm saying? He, him, her, she, all that. I don't know what God is. God is I don't know even think God surpasses sexual orientation. You know what I'm saying? I think, you know what I'm saying, Jesus was a man, but I think God, the creator of all, surpasses all of that. You understand me? So if you really, that's why I say, if you really preaching love, you're not gonna be like Charlie Kirk wasn't preaching love. Let's be honest, he wasn't preaching love. You know what I'm saying? Like, hit that like button for me too if you're out there. Like, if you use race for political gain and traction, how is that preaching God? Simple question, man. It's a simple question. So that's for me. I've fell away from race. I fell away from trying to demonize white society for the past, the issues of slavery, things like that. We got to forgive, like we got to forgive and move forward as a people. You know what I'm saying? If I sit here, oh, white man this, man, the white man that, how am I any better than, like I said, I'm working with the devil. If I'm sitting here crying about the white man all day instead of focusing on things like my life and what I can do to help my society progress as people and as a person, as a culture, see, that's why I say I harp on my own kind, because I want my kind to no longer harp on race, to not have racial idolatry leading them and running them and ruling their hearts and their spirits. See, because I don't want to. Like, I'm not trying to gain any type of political traction off of being divisive. That's just me, because I feel like that's not Christ-like. So it's just crazy to me how you can. I just know you're not Christ-like. Like, there's certain stuff like that. When you sit here and talk about race, you're not Christ-like. You're working with the devil. Period. And I don't care who it offends. Like, if you're sitting here talking about race this, race that, race, black people this, and say the girl that got stabbed on the subway in Charlotte, horrible, deplorable act of evil. That's it. You can't sit here and black men do this, black white people are under attack. Like, bruh, good is under attack. It ain't no race. It's bad. White people is bad. Black people is bad. Everybody. It's good. White people is good. Black people is good. Everybody. Bruh, humanity and evil is good is under attack. Period. Humanity is under attack. God, a godly country, God and Christianity is under attack. Period. So when you trying to, like I said, spew this division, you're not helping the cause of humanity. Period.
Dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman. I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Almost creates thought patterns that are not.
What purpose did he have to say a moronic black woman? Is that not degrading, and is that not calling someone out just solely based off their race? Is that not considered disgusting to folks? When I can sit here, let's see what type of, oh damn. So I just want, that's just something I'm very curious. I'm very, I want to know, is that not considered, what is that? When I can sit here and call a person out by their race as if they're inferior. Do you think that's what God wants? And then all these people professing that he's like God and he's a God-like person. Do you think that's what God wants? And if you can say yes, then you're the problem. If you think God wants people to call his creatures out and his creations out by their color and single them out as if they're, a moronic black woman. What if somebody was talking about, if I see a moronic white woman as a teacher, like that, like I said, when you call people out by their race, once you are a racial idolater, because I had, like I said, and it takes time to get past that, man, because people are so hate-filled. Once you learn how to get past that hate in your heart, life will be a lot better, man. And that goes for everybody. I'm telling you, like, because race is a tool of division and hate. Period. That's what it's made for. Race is a tool of division and hate. It's not bringing us together. It's not doing anything positive. The racial divide is not doing anything positive for us as a people. Point blank. Period. So race is it is a tool of divisiveness.
Necessarily wholesome. It creates resentment, doesn't it, Heather? No one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix
and you're a black lesbian. Charlie Kirk has no problem putting his true.
And like I said, I have no qualms with the fact that because in America you have freedom of speech. So I'm not talking about legality. He didn't deserve death over his opinions, over his polarizing opinions. He didn't deserve death at all. I'm gonna say that over and over again until I'm blue in the face. This man should be at home with his kids right now, enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Just because he wanted to stir up racial division, he did not deserve death. He did not deserve any of this due to the fact that he wanted to stir up racial division. That's my opinion. I don't think he deserved death. He didn't deserve anything. You know what I'm saying? He deserved a good discussion. You know, that's about it. You know, a good somebody that actually could challenge his views and ask them how can that be considered Christ-like if you're shitting on people or if you're differentiating people based off their race, or you're categorizing or stereotyping people based off their race alone. You know what I'm saying? Not having a conversation with them, not knowing anything, just because they're a black pilot, just because they're this, just because they're a black surgeon, you think DEI, they got. See, to me, that's just something that you made up in your mind to try to stir up and get get clicks, get votes, get likes, get following, get people to because you're just saying a lot of racially charged shit that other folks probably, I don't think they probably even think, but it's like it emboldens them to feel that way as well, because people are followers. You know what I'm saying? Look at the guy that unalived him, 22-year-old, said he was dating a trans. It was all over the place, man. We just look at it, just look at his archetype and his life and what in type of man he was. Had a father that owned businesses. You know what I'm saying? He had good grades. They said he went to Utah State or something like that for engineering, dropped out after one semester. So an intelligent young man is so charged, and they said he was online all the time. He was, addicted to the screen, addicted to just like I said, doom scrolling, getting into rabbit holes, following all these different type of sects and political parties, and just lost. 22 years old and you do something like this, something as heinous as this. You haven't even lived. Like, what do you even know? What depth do you know of life to where you are this confused and this angry as a person? Like, it makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? At all. Like, to where you would be so angry at 22 years old to where you feel like you do something so heinous as assassinate someone at such a young age. You had the rest of your life ahead of you, and you're 22 years old and you want to assassinate somebody. That is just off the wall, batshit crazy. So this is the type of shit once you're doing the bidding of the devil, everything's off. And that's just how I feel. If I'm out here saying white man this, white man that, the white man everything, bruh, I don't care. Black people do that shit all the time, and they're fucking wrong. You working with the devil. It's good versus evil, man. We got to remember that. Like, if you get one thing from this stream that I want everybody to remember, it is good versus evil out here. It is the devil versus God. It's not black versus white. When it's black versus white, the devil wins. When it's white versus black, the devil wins. When if I sit here and use my voice, my platform, my abilities, which is Charlie Kirk are mine, because I feel like I have the ability to, be a great orator as well, a great linguist, a person that can definitely get my opinions across in a educated dialect, and you know what I'm saying, and just converse with some of the best minds, in my opinion. I feel like I can sit and have a conversation with anyone. I'm not going to use my power for political gain, for money. I'm not going to use my abilities, my God-given abilities to shit on God's people, to differentiate people based off race, to categorize people based off race, to degrade and degrade people based off race. Because then I know I have the wherewithal and ability to know that is doing the bidding of the devil. So everybody that's sitting out here talking, they don't even know how to elocute themselves. They just want to laugh at Charlie Kirk being assassinated. Like, to me, that's sickening. Like, you don't even know how to articulate how you feel. You just, yeah, he's dead, because you were mad because you couldn't conversate with him. He didn't conversate. That's why he conversated with folks of not low IQ, but of low life skills and experience. He went around. He's a 31, about 32-year-old man, and he have conversations with college age kids. Think about that. Why didn't he have more conversations with older, bright minds that actually could give him a actual conversation? Maybe even Kamala Harris. I know she's not the best speaker, you know what I'm saying? But have a conversation with somebody who actually can articulate and actually give you historical references and actually can go back and forth and it actually be a legitimate conversation or debate. But you talking to college age kids who are emotional, lost, have no sense of timing or timeline as far as just occurrences of things politically that happened before them. They haven't been here long enough to even understand things, so they're very easily influenced, to say the least. They're very easily influenced. So I would never use my age, my experiences, my abilities to divide and confuse the masses and to propagate negativity, race baiting stuff to younger minds, influential minds. That, like, to me, that's like it's manipulation. Like, I'm not going to sit here because I know people would follow me, and I'm going to be like, oh man, the white man, we need to do this and we need to do that, and man, no, I'm going to focus. What I do is I focus on my community, my people, the people you know what I'm saying, that I can relate to and see and you know, have camaraderie with and have a culture with. I'm going to try to see what we can do to progress as a people. I want to see if we can have conversations with other races and other people and other ethnic communities and try to break down this divide that race has already brought to this country and the hostility that race brings to this country. I'm not going to race bait. That's just not in me, because I've learned through walking with Christ, walking with the Lord, that the Lord doesn't care about our race, period. That's something that humans have made over the last however many years to create racial division and fighting amongst the bottom ranks, so the people, the haves can have and the have-nots can sit down in the bottom and fight. And I think Mr. Kirk knew that. I think Mr. Kirk just knew that I'm making money off of this. You know what I'm saying? Just like South Park, just like anything. Like if a person comes, it's like Charleston White, you know what I'm saying? Just like anybody, if they know that you can be a provocateur and I can make money online, I can get a political following, and I can get, you know what I'm saying, just a place in this world. It's like a stick. You're gonna keep with it. You know, I'm getting followers. People are actually, you know, even if it's insensitive that I talk about race and black people in this way, is derogatory how I talk about black people. People are following me. People like me because I talk derogatory toward blacks. People like me because I call them to task, and you know, and like I said, some of the stuff he said was correct. I'm not going to be that guy. Some of the things he said, he was spot on as far as issues that plagued the black community. And I was one of the first people to validate that. And I say that to my own people personally. I have conversations internally with our own people, whether it's social media and, you know, whatever and whatnot. But I just know stirring up race is a tool of the devil. I just know that. I know that, man. So that's one of the things I try to profess. And I don't think that, you know, Charlie Kirk was a Christian at all. I think he was a fake Christian. I call a lot of people fake Christians. I think he was a fake Christian. I think he used God as a ploy, as a cover for him to do what he wanted to do politically, and try to fall back on God as a, you know, as a tool to say that, like, you know, that's where I'm coming from a Christian viewpoint. But I feel like once again, I'm going to harp on it again. God does not care about race. God did not choose one people to be better than the next. That's just my opinion. If God put us, all us creatures down here, he put us down here to cohabitate and work together, and to not to care about things like race, socioeconomics, the economy, money, you know, over sexualization, you know, things like this, politics. Like, I don't think he gave God didn't give a rat's ass about none of this. The one who created our lives and created us as a people did not care. He did not create us to be down here fighting over the color of our skin, man. So that's my biggest thing I want to get across.
Beliefs about anyone who isn't a white rabid conservative like him on full display.
So it like hurts my heart, because doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. Yeah, that's the point, Simone Biles. You're representing your nation, you're selfish sociopath. You kidding me? We are raising a generation of weak people like Simone Biles. Again, if you want to be, if she got all these mental health problems, don't show up. She's an incredible athlete. Of course she's an incredible athlete. I'm not saying, I just said she's probably the greatest gymnast of all time. She's also very selfish. She's immature, and she is a shame to the country. She's totally a sociopath. Of course she's a sociopath. Andrew says she's not a sociopath. What kind of person skips the gold medal match? Who does that? It's a shame to the nation. LeBron James is a self-interested, narcissistic, and we know he's not very smart. He does these press conferences where he thinks he's making sense, spiritually and freedom of speech. but he's a product of his time. What would you expect from LeBron James? It's cool to insult America. It's cool to sell yourself out to China. Not very bright, not wise, not somebody of good character, but as a blowhard. He'll never have to apologize. He'll never have to admit failure. And of course, everyone knows that LeBron James chronically cheats on his wife. Obviously, he's an NBA player. Savannah James should be asked by that. Hey, how do you feel?
So now he's a chatty patty. So this is something, like I said, everything's a shot job. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no knock to that. No knock to him. Like he said, he lived his life the way he wanted to live his life. But I'm just saying, as a Christian person, as a person who professes the love for Christ and Jesus, I never heard in the Bible anything about race. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, so if you over here want to, you know, like I said, degrade black people just off of our race, that to me, that's not, just on the simplest form, that's not doing God's work, which you want to profess to be doing. That's not, you know, that's only stirring up. And who does that help? when you stirring up violence, division, hate, you know what I'm saying, separation. You know what I'm saying? Like who wins? Is Christ celebrating when Charlie Kirk's getting shot by somebody off of over something as stupid as politics? You think God's happy about that? You think God's pleased? You know what I'm saying? No, he's hurting. He lost one of his soldiers. He lost a person that he made in his image. So that's one of the things I want to get across. Like it's stupidity, the way that we do things in America, like politics, religion, race. It's all works of the devil. And nobody really wants to step out and say that. We just want to keep on doing the same status quo. Well, white people are white supremacists and they racist, you racist, you racist, you racist, you racist, you racist. Black people, they ignorant, they're black on black crime. And what's wrong with them? They hate each other and they're dysfunctional. Man, look at the white man. They shot him. Yeah, you talking about black folks? Send the troops to Utah. Send the troops to Utah now. You want to do all this and come at us? It's all this racial division and hate at the bottom. Who is winning? The devil, Satan, Lucifer. Lucifer is rejoicing right now. You want to talk about Christ? All these video clips where he talk about Christ. You want to talk about Christ? Who is winning when you're shitting on people? When you shitting on people for making choices that, whether you disagree with them or not, politically, sexually, race issues. Like, who is winning when we want to shit on people and not help these people, but we just want to shame and shit on them and tell them that you wrong and you different and it's y'all the way y'all raised and all this stuff, instead of helping folks? Like, who is that helping when you create people who also agree with this rhetoric and divisiveness and stuff like that? Who is that helping? It's helping the devil. So that's one of the biggest things I just want to get across to folks. And hit that like button for me, man. Hit that like button if you're on here tapping in with TNP. Appreciate y'all tapping in here, man. But I tried to get this off my chest, man, about just the world, man. This world, just United States, man. The world, it ain't just United States, it's the world. The world is filled with hate. You see war everywhere. Ukraine, Russia, Palestine, all the things, it is a wild thing. People are fighting over religion still, you know what I'm saying? In the quote unquote holy lands, they out there fighting right now. Israel, Palestine, South Africa, apartheid, all the just the shit box full of hatred. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't feel like you reap what you sow. I mean, ultimately God said you reap what you sow, but I don't feel like he didn't sow a seed of violence where he deserved to be killed. You know what I'm saying? If he was out here being Nazi Germany, Hitler, then maybe, somebody should have done something to stop the oppression and the eradication of a certain people. But he was not on that. He was just about making some money. He's about lining his own pockets. You know what I'm saying? He did profess Christ, so I do give him credit for that, because most people wouldn't even do that. See, look at all these other conservative viewpoints and speaking heads. They don't really talk about Christ at all. They don't bring godliness into it at all. So I do commend Mr. Charlie Kirk for that, but I don't commend the route in which he went about doing his deeds and his works. I don't condone the way he went about it. You know what I'm saying? Singling out races and stuff like that, causing racial division, that doesn't help anyone as a people. We need to find out if he'd use that same voice to voice about hatred and evil and spirits and things like that's going on, and mental health and all these type of things, that try to get real help and a real voice, a real advocate for people and just take race out of it, take the racial division out of it, man, he would have been even 100 times more powerful voice out here. But I just feel like the way in which he did it, and the way in which he voiced his political rhetoric, it was helping the devil. Point blank period. So not a lot of people will admit that. You know, I'm just being honest. And like I said, if you want to show some love on that Cash App, show me some love, man. I appreciate it. I'm out here podding. You know, I'm getting this different viewpoint, this conservative, biblical viewpoint out there that we are all together. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really into politics, but I do have just a conservative nature about myself. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do have some other things that, you know, like I said, I just think I'm a free thinker. So I'm, you know, and a critical thinker. So I just call it like it is. It's a shame that, you know, like to say, the hate we bring, the hate we give, you know what I'm saying? It's a shame that people can't compartmentalize and deal with their differences other than hatred. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, bro, it was a way better way to deal with a lot of the things. You know, before it even got to the point of violence and overturn where someone is gone for a thought, for an opinion, for a voiced opinion online. And, you know, it's sad. You know, sad. It marks a terrible, terrible time in this country. Hopefully this is the turning point where we can distance ourselves from a division based on race, based on sex, based on ethnicity, based on, you know, immigration status. You know what I'm saying? Like even stuff like that. If you're an evil person, let's make this more of a streamlined ability to get people legitimately a citizen or a citizenship here. Let's find out a way to get that a little bit easier. You know, we can get folks who are nonviolent offenders and nonviolent people a chance to, you know, come to America legally. You know, stuff like that. You know, we shouldn't have such a closed-minded, closed off mindset. You know what I'm saying, in my opinion. But because I know I'm speaking a lot right now, you know, and I know I'm speaking a lot of truth to power. And like I said, I'm just trying to keep a WWJD approach. And I know if anybody out there is real Christian, I know you know what WWJD means. I know you know what WWJD means. If you really a Christian, what would Jesus do? WWJD. I love that. I live by that. That's why I don't want to harm people. That's why I don't get off on racial idolatry. I don't get off on white trauma porn or black trauma porn, or I don't get off on violence. I don't get off on Hispanic trauma porn and looking at the worst of the worst in other people's cultures and look at them. What about them and what about isms, and as opposed to, you know, trying to do things to actually get progress. I don't sit here and what about what about the Jews, and what about the Zionists, and what about the fascists, and what about the Republicans, and what about the Jews, and what about the racists, and what about the blacks? What about the legal Hispanics? I don't do all that because, like I said, it's good versus evil in all walks of life. All of them. Good versus evil, man. To simplify this thing, man, we are just overcomplicating this whole thing called life when we have these different sects and division at the bottom. We're making life not the way it was supposed to be, man. That's not how God. I don't feel like this is how God wants us to live. You know what I'm saying? It probably does keep our lower cells excited. Our lower cells. Make sure you know that. This American Western way of the world and the way the world is just running, it does give our lower cells validation. It gives our lower cells, our negative, you know, yin versus yang, the bad part of us, the lower vibration of us. It gives that excitement, the flesh. Sometimes stuff like this, it riles people up. It gives the flesh excitement. There's a lot of people that would love to see this country burn. They would love to see people fighting and killing in civil war and civil unrest and motherfuckers dying in the streets and bloodshed. Because who would that help? Satan. So if we really look at our country, one thing I do agree with Mr. Kirk about. Our country has gone all the way away from God. You know, even himself in a lot of ways and a lot of his rhetoric, if we be honest. So that's one of the things I do not condone. It's one of the things I effing detest is hatred and violence. And I think, like, you got to be crazy. You got to be downright a crazy demonic entity if you don't agree with me that hatred and violence can be and must be ruled out in this nation. can be and it must be. We got to get mental help for the people that need it, and we got to stop being so racially divisive and using all these racial, racial division and all this stuff to just keep us at a lower mindset and a lower function.
About your husband like cheating on you all the time, but that's just how the NBA works. The whole thing is an open marriage.
So like, what does that have to do with God? That's chatty patty. That's just like, see, that's why I said he was just a provocateur. You know what I'm saying? He was an online entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Because what does that have to do with anything political? Him cheating on his wife. You know what I'm saying? Well, how do we know you don't cheat on your, like, I hate to say the whataboutism, but like, I feel like that's lame. That's corny. What does that have to do with politics? You know what I'm saying? What does that have to do with him having a lack of awareness when it comes to him speaking out politically, or a lack of intelligence when he's out here speaking to the pundits and the reporters? What is this relevancy? You know what I'm saying? Objection, relevancy. Because I'm trying to go to law school, so that would be my first thing. Well, how's this relevant? How's LeBron James cheating and being unfaithful relevant to the conversation that should be had? Oh, it's not. You're just trying to be entertaining. You're trying to be provocative. You're trying to be polarizing. Cool. And that's a lot of his rhetoric was. If we be honest with ourselves, we're just trying to be entertaining, and he's trying to make $1 off of pain. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to heal shit. He was just trying to make $1 off of pain, which most of us are. Me, I'm trying to be informative. If I can make some money, if I can make a buck, I will too. But I will not mislead you. I will not be led. I will not lead my followers with hate. I want my followers to be critical thinkers. I want my TMPers to be critical thinkers. I don't want you to just follow me blindly. And if I tell you, you should hate certain people that you just follow, I want you to be a critical thinker. See, a lot of people just want blind followers. That's not what I want. I want people that will grow and be critical thinkers, and people that will be problem solvers in this nation, that can help this nation progress positively, post-racially. We're not hung up on the idiotic mindset of race. But yeah, man, like I said, TNP, I appreciate y'all out there listening, man. So some love to Cash App. Link is in the description box. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate y'all tapping in with TNP, man. It's all love. Man, I hope we learned something from this past week of pure hatred and division and chaos to an extent. But I do feel like we are, as a nation, we will get through this. We will have some minds, such as myself, that will leave a message for people to, really let it soak in and you know what I'm saying, hit them in the heartstrings. And that's really what my purpose is for TNP. Like I said, I will not be the one to mislead you. I will not be the one to preach hatred, divisiveness, division, because I know that's nothing but works of the devil. So, and I will not hide it in Christianity talking points and speaking points, because, like I said, it sounds smart to people that's dumb. So people like me that see through facades, that see through the smoke and mirrors, it does not work with people like me. I'm too wise, too seasoned, too intelligent. So it won't work. You can't tell me, you can't piss on me and tell me it's raining. You understand? So yes, sir.
Moral in almost everything he does. He shouldn't be lifted up, but I don't think most Americans do. He would obviously stand for the China national anthem, and he can't even show a modicum.
More divisiveness. And we're not the only people that do this. We already know there's other countries that are here that do the same thing, but they're not, they're doing their own thing. This is just the fact, just the thought, countries, races, wars, conflicts. Who is it helping? I gotta keep putting that, reminding y'all, when we talk about wars, invading other countries, fighting people for resources, all this division, who is it helping? Satan. Just remember that. Like I said, I understand fully what he was doing. Fully. He's being a provocateur in order to make money and resources and fame and political gain. As I said, a lot of people thought he had a chance to being a future president, and for all intents and purposes, he could have been. Because like I said, people follow what's popular. They don't follow what's true. They don't follow what's godlike. We follow what feels comfortable with us. We follow things that's entertaining, Trump. You know, Trump was a provocateur, said a lot of things that people didn't want to, that didn't feel comfortable saying. Historically, throughout his whole life, he said a lot of things, as far as racially as well. So, yeah, man. Just got to keep with it, man. Keep pounding, keep pushing, man. Carolina Panther style. Keep pounding, man. Because we got to keep pounding this pavement and being real with ourselves, actually being believers of God, actually being followers of God, actually preaching the word of God, actually preaching love and acceptance as opposed to just hate and division. So, man, I appreciate y'all tapping in with TNP, man. Hit that like button. We out of here. So much love, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. It's been a good